Hi guys, today we'll be doing a stat breakdown of Moreno and Pantoja for the flyweight title. We'll be looking at records, striking stats, wrestling stats, and at the end my prediction based on the stats. Let's get into it. Moreno is 9-3 in the UFC with 2 draws, and Pantoja is also 9-3 in the UFC but with no draws. Thus, both fighters have an exceptional win-loss ratio of 3. Looking at the combined records of their UFC opponents, Moreno's opponents are 110 wins and 57 losses, whereas Pantoja's opponents are 69 wins, and 45 losses. Therefore, we can see Moreno has faced significantly tougher opponents in the UFC, although this is skewed since he fought Figueiredo 4 times. Looking at win methods for these fighters, Moreno is well-rounded with 3 finishes, 3 decisions and 3 submissions, whereas Pantoja has 3 decisions, 2 KOs and 4 submissions. Looking at the loss methods for these fighters, and both fighters have 3 decision losses and have never been finished in the UFC. Looking at the striking stats, we can see Pantoja has a significantly higher strike accuracy than Moreno, although Moreno has a slightly higher strike defense. Pantoja is also significantly more active than Moreno with 4.25 strikes landed per minute. We can see Moreno is only 4-3 when his strike accuracy is below 40%. However, throughout his career, we can see his strike accuracy has been improving, so I'm expecting a closer striking battle with Pantoja than the first fight. However, we can see Moreno's opponent's strike accuracy has been high recently, although it is decreasing, so Moreno's striking seems to be improving in his last 5 fights. Looking at striking accuracy, Pantoja has an insane win-loss ratio of 8-1 when his striking accuracy is above 45%. And on top of this, he has a 100% finish rate when his striking accuracy is above 51%. Looking at his opponent's strike accuracy, Pantoja is only 3-3 when his opponents strike above 45%, although he has a 100% win rate when his opponents strike below 45%. Moreno has been dangerous with the hands recently, with 2 knockdowns in his past 4 fights. Moreno has also never lost when landing a knockdown. Looking at opponent knockdowns, Moreno's been knocked down in only 2 fights in his career, and he's never been finished after a knockdown, although Figueiredo did knock him down 3 times in 1 fight. Looking at knockdowns for Pantoja, he has a 100% finish rate with a knockdown, although he has not had a knockdown in his past 4 fights. However, he did end the last 2 by submission, so no need for a knockdown there. Pantoja has only been knocked down once in 12 UFC fights, and he has never been finished in his career. Looking at significant strike differential, Moreno has been badly outstruck in 2 of 3 of his losses, whereas in his other loss he was knocked down 3 times. However, 8 of 9 Moreno's wins have been when he won the striking differential, so this is really important for him. Looking at the strike differential for Pantoja, he has been outstruck only by 10 plus strikes once in his career, whereas he has outstruck his opponents by this margin 5 times. Comparing the grappling stats for these fighters, Moreno lands more takedowns per 15 minutes, has a moderately higher takedown accuracy, whereas both fighters have a takedown defense of 67%. Pantoja attempts twice as many submissions as Moreno, explaining his 4 UFC submissions. Looking at takedowns, we can see Moreno is very active with wrestling, attempting a takedown in 12 of his last 14 UFC fights. However, he is only 5-3 when landing a takedown, so Moreno doesn't win fights with wrestling alone. On the other hand, when Moreno is taken down, he has 6 wins and only 1 loss, which implies wrestling is not the key to beating Moreno. Looking at takedowns for Pantoja, he doesn't land huge volumes of takedown, although he has a 37.5% submission rate when he lands a takedown. He has, however, landed a takedown in all 3 losses, so despite being a good submission artist, a takedown is not game over for Pantoja. On the other hand, Pantoja has been taken down in 8 of 12 fights, therefore simply getting him down once isn't enough. However, he has 2+ takedowns conceded in all 3 losses, and only 2 wins when this has happened. Therefore, getting multiple takedowns is key to beating him. We can see control time is a key stat for Moreno, who only has 1 loss when he has more than 50 seconds of control time. He also averages a crazy 197 seconds of control per fight, more than 3 minutes. We can also see Moreno has been controlled by more than 200 seconds on 3 occasions, although he did not lose 1 of these fights. This further cements that outstriking Moreno is the most important thing to beat him. We can see Pantoja typically doesn't get crazy amounts of control time, although he averages an enormous 132 seconds of control time for every takedown he lands, meaning he can hold opponents down. Looking at his opponent's control time, we can see Pantoja is 1-3 when conceding 100 plus seconds of control time, indicating that holding Pantoja down is the key to beating him. To summarize the main points of this video, Moreno's opponents average a strike accuracy of 44% against him, and Pantoja is 8-1 when he has a strike accuracy of 45% or greater. On the other hand, Moreno averages 197 seconds of control time, and in each of Pantoja's losses, his opponents have had greater than 100 seconds of control time. Lastly, both of these fighters have never been finished, so expect this to go the distance. My prediction for this fight, for each fighter, is that Moreno needs to wrestle to win, so if he can secure 2+ takedowns and 200 seconds of control time, I see him winning a 48-47 decision. Otherwise, if Pantoja keeps the fight on the feet, I see him outstriking Moreno by at least 30 significant strikes and winning a 49-46 decision. That's the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things, and I'll see you next time. Catch up.